Hello everyone, namaste, welcome back to my channel. I know most of you guys have forgotten me. Well, if you haven't or if you have, it's okay. I'll introduce myself. I am Amisha Singh Chauhan, and if you're looking for something fun, dark and mysterious, then you're at the right place. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that every time I'm here, you'll get to know about it. So the case that I'm going to cover today, it has been always on my mind and I really wanted to make a video on this, but the reason why I did not do so was because there was not really a conclusion to the story, and we know the conclusion right now. It just happened on 13th January 2021, and that is the very reason why I chose this perfect moment to make a video. I was actually planning on some other case, but that's a story for another day. Well, before I go ahead with the case, I just want to say that I am a huge fan of period dramas and I love, historical movies and stuff like that. And execution is a very constant terminology in all of these dramas, like most of them actually. And the thing is that I don't know how I feel about it in day-to-day life in today's world, like in 21st century. I mean, sometimes you know where you stand, but then there are certain situations and certain things that take place that make you really question your stand on certain things. Like, you're getting the track of my mind, right? So yeah, the execution and everything, I don't know how I feel about it right now, and especially this case has made me question lot of things. So without any further ado, let's begin with the murder of Bobby Jo Stinnett. So Bobby Jo Stinnett, she was a very lively, shy, dog-loving human being, and she was such a beautiful creature, and everything was going perfect in Bobby's life. I mean, she was married for over a year and she was 8 months pregnant, and she always wanted to have a baby. She always wanted to be a mother since a very young age. She and her husband, who was also her childhood sweetheart, they were working in this manufacturing plant, and as a side business at home, they were breeding dogs for selling them and for various business purposes. So like I said, Bobby Jo Stinnett was a dog lover, but then she had special love for rat terriers. I did not know about this breed. I'm a dog lover, I love dogs, but I don't know much information about breeds and all, so I'm just gonna pop up a picture of it. So like I said, she was a huge rat terrier fan, and she joined this chat forum online which was called Ratter Chatter. It was a forum made for people who love rat terriers. Over there, she met this woman and her name was Darlene Fisher. So, like I said, everyone was like talking over there about rat terriers, but Bobby Jo was so excited about her pregnancy that she even started talking about her pregnancy and everything. So this woman, Darlene Fisher, she was also a rat terrier enthusiast, and she wanted to get these puppies which recently Bobby Jo's rat terrier had given. So she came into contact with her, and they did not only have one thing in common, that is rat terriers, but even Darlene Fisher was pregnant. And according to Darlene Fisher, she was pregnant with twins, but then unfortunately she had a miscarriage and she lost one of the twins, and very soon she was going to deliver the surviving twin. I don't know if we can still call it a twin, but yeah, she was going to deliver the surviving baby. So she had an appointment made with Bobby Jo Stinnett, who was living in Skidmore, Missouri. It is a very small town, scarcely populated, and whereas she used to live, as in Darlene Fisher used to live in Kansas. So she made an appointment on 16th of December 2004 to get these puppies from Bobby Jo. So 16 December 2004 came. Like always, Bobby Jo was alone in the house. She was pregnant, so she wasn't going outside for working, and she was expecting a lot of prospect buyers. So she was on a call with her mother. Her name is Becky Harper, by the way, and she was talking about everything, and all of a sudden she saw this red dirty car, old looking car, Toyota most probably, coming into her driveway. So she told her mom that someone's here and she has to hang up. So she hangs up the phone, and in a very friendly manner, she opens the door. So mind you guys, she used to do her business from her home, which was also known as Happy Haven Rat Terriers. So having strangers come to her home for, getting pups and for getting dogs was a normal thing. Secondly, The woman right there at the door of Bobby Joe's house was a pregnant woman. Not according, but it was in her head that Darlene Fisher was pregnant. So any pregnant woman would be the last person on the list of a threatening person. Like, you wouldn't expect a pregnant woman to be threatening, right? So she's very friendly. She opens the door. And what exactly happens after this, nobody knows. But the investigators, they say that when Bobby opens the door, invites her inside, she turns around and takes her to some place in the house. So she goes to her knees and opens the dog carrier. And now this is the exact moment when Darlene Fisher gets inside her bag, takes out a carrot or a rope kind of a thing, and strangulates Bobby Joe Stinnett. Now she gets unconscious. She turns the unconscious body of Bobby Joe and takes a knife which she was carrying around. It was probably a kitchen steak knife. She takes it out and slices Bobby Joe's abdomen, and then she goes deep inside it, finds the womb, slices open it, and then takes out the baby, chops off the umbilical cord, and walks out. Now, before this, it is believed that when she was slicing the abdomen of Bobby Joe came out of unconsciousness because of the pain, most probably, and she was fighting and she was resisting this, and she had a lot of resistant marks on her body as well. In fact, she had a lock of hair which did not belong to Bobby Joe herself, but according to DNA matches, it was Darlene Fisher's. So when she wakes up from her unconsciousness, Darlene Fisher takes the rope again and strangulates her this time, but this time she doesn't go to unconsciousness, she dies. Now, after some time, Becky Harper, Bobby Joe Stinnett's mother, she comes to the house to meet her daughter. She most probably had already planned this meeting, and according to her, as soon as she entered the house, she knew that something was wrong, and she walks in, and there she sees her daughter's body in the pool of blood. And she knew that she had lost her daughter, but then she called 911 and she told them, and if I have to quote her, she said that it looks like my daughter's abdomen has exploded. And I mean, I've heard the audio clip, and personally I was thinking of using it in the video, but then out of respect, and also it might be triggering to a lot of you, so I'm not going to do that. But it's out there in the public domain. You can check it out at the 911 call, and I can only hope that no mother has to go through what Becky Harper had to go through then. So paramedics come into the picture. They arrive really soon. They try to get her back, but unfortunately it's not done. And then they take her to St. Francis Hospital in Maryville, where she's declared dead. So now the investigators come into the picture, and so does the FBI. And they knew that the baby had a very good chance of being still alive out there, and they did not wanted the perpetrator to take the baby out of the state. So that's why FBI was in the picture. Secondly, they also sent out the Amber Alert. Now, a lot of you might not know what Amber Alert is. It is basically a child abduction emergency alert, though they were very skeptical about it, because usually when you send out this Amber Alert, you give out description about the child, about the baby, the hair color, the eye color, the complexion, and a lot of other things. How could you describe an unborn child? But then later on, a congressman came into the picture and Amber Alert was sent out. Now, for the investigators and for the FBI, it did not take them a lot of time to find out this Darlene Fisher. So one of the friends of Bobby Joe, she was also a member of Ratter Chatter Chat Forum. So she scrolled through these messages and she found out about Darlene, and she tipped the police about it. Also, Darlene Fisher had used an email ID to communicate with Bobby Joe to set an appointment date. And guess what her username was? It was Fisher for Kids. And I am not kidding, like literally, I mean, how could you not find this person who has this username which is Fisher for Kids a weird and like a totally out of track situation kind of a person? Like, maybe I have this perspective of this username because I know the story in the hindsight, but I don't know, still it's very weird and it's very crazy. Anyways, so they do track the IP address, and through this IP address they do find out a telephone number and a home address, but it did not belong to Darlene Fisher. Darlene Fisher was not even an identity, it was fake. Obviously, it was fake. The IP address reached out to Kevin Montgomery. So, what they do is they go to that address, the investigators and the FBI, they go over there, they knock on the door, and as soon as the door opens, there they see this woman, Lisa Marie Montgomery, holding the baby in her arms. She was cradling the baby. And according to one of the investigators, the police officer, he said that the moment he saw the baby, he knew that it was sheepish. Because usually, again, biologically, I don't know, I haven't researched that much on the immature and mature baby part, but he said that he has seen his own 3 kids getting delivered and he knew that the baby was not fully matured. Also, because of the head, it is supposed to be not so round, but the baby had a perfect round head. And the not so perfect round head would be the reason because of the pressure in the canal and all that thing. So anyways, he got his doubt on this entire situation. So they immediately start questioning her about the delivery, about the baby and everything. And what she says is, Lisa, she says that yes, she did have an appointment with Bobby Joe Stinnett, but then it's not clear exactly what the reason she gives as to not going to her house or not meeting the appointment. It's still not clear. It's very deluded. Yes, deluded. This is the term that has been used by the defense attorney. So even I'm going to use it. So according to Lisa, she delivered the baby on the very same day Bobby Joe was murdered, that is 16th of December 2004. So she went out for a shopping spree in Topeka, and right in the middle of a shopping center, she got her water broke. So she went into the labor. Now, according to Lisa, she traveled to Topeka birthing center herself. She delivered the baby and later on called her husband, Kevin Montgomery, for asking him to pick her up and go back home. And this entire time, they were showing off the baby Abigail to her families and to her friends and everyone, while on the TV screen was the Amber Alert. So what does the police do? They call the Topeka Birthing Center and they ask, informations about Lisa Montgomery and her baby Abigail. And guess what? Like, obviously, you've guessed it already. There's no such thing that took place that day. So they question her, and there's a series of things that she says. Like, she says that, I delivered the baby myself, or I delivered it with the help of 2 of my friends. She keeps on changing her statements. But in the end, it did not take her long enough to just break down in front of the police officers and investigators. She started weeping and she accepted that it was her who killed Bobby Joe Stinnett. And the baby belonged to Bobby Joe Stinnett, which obviously matched with the DNAs and everything was done. So yes, it was concluded. The baby was sent off to the father, that is Zeb Stinnett, and her name is Victoria Joe Stinnett. She most probably would be 16 this year. That's all the information we can find on her. And obviously, we all want to respect her privacy. So now the bigger question comes is, why did she do it? Why did Lisa or the husband Kevin do this? For that, you have to find out a little bit history of Lisa Montgomery. Now, again, before I start off with the history, I want to give out a disclaimer. I don't want you guys to waste your energy, go in the comment section and say that I am supporting her or I am sympathizing with her. No, the statements or whatever facts, or even if it's a fact or not, whatever I am going to talk about, the history that is related to Lisa's childhood, is what the defense attorney presented to the federal court. It's not my saying, it's not my fact, it's out there in the public domain, on internet, on articles, and that's what I am delivering to you guys. I'm not sympathizing with her. End quote. So, according to the defense attorneys, Lisa Montgomery had a very abusive, torturous childhood. She was mentally, physically, and emotionally and sexually abused. Now, even before she was born, her mother, Judy, I'm not even going to pronounce her surname, it's very tongue twisting for me. So anyways, Judy, Lisa Montgomery's mother, was an alcoholic. And when she was pregnant with Lisa, the entire time during the gestation period, she was so drunk that when she delivered discovered Lisa, she was immediately diagnosed with fetal alcoholic disorder. Yes, if that's not enough, Judy used to torture her physically, mentally, and in every possible way. And over that, Lisa's stepfather, he started raping her in her early preteens, and then used to get his friends and they were gang raping her all the time, which led to Lisa start opening and taking support of alcohol. So she started drinking at a very young age. And it is said that when Lisa was 14 years old and her mother got to know about these rapes, she, instead of helping her daughter and reporting the stepfather, she took a gun and threatened Lisa straight away. I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, I don't understand why these people get to be a mother. What happens next is that at the age of 18, Lisa, to escape all of this abuse, she marries her stepbrother, which unfortunately is not an escape but a leap from one platform to another with the same train. The husband is again very abusive. He used to rape her and beat her. In fact, one of Lisa's stepbrothers said that he found a home video in which the husband was beating and raping her, and it looked like something out of a horror movie. So again, the defense attorneys were trying their best to showcase that she had a very torturous and abusive childhood. Another thing is that with her first marriage, though she divorced and then married the same husband again, and then divorced and then married the second husband, that is Kevin, in 2000, she had 4 children with the first husband, and then she got her tubal ligations. Tubal ligations, if you don't know, is a permanent method of sterilization in females. So that means that Lisa can never get pregnant. But then she used to go around telling people that she was pregnant and she got miscarriage or she aborted, and she used to just make up these lies quite often that she was pregnant. So what happened was that in early 2000s, the first husband reported for a file to get a full custody of the 2 kids that were still living with Lisa. And to win his support and to win the case, he was going to present Lisa as an unfit mother who was mentally ill, who was also a pathological liar, who would go around saying that she was pregnant when she wasn't. And the first husband very well knew about the tubal ligations, so he knew that this time also she was lying about her pregnancy. And if Lisa couldn't get a baby out of her vajayjay, then she was really into deep trouble, because she would then lose her 2 kids, and hence she was so desperate in getting a baby, just to protect the 2 kids she had. I mean, at least that's what I think could have been a possibility. Now, in Kevin's defense, he had no idea about this, though he says that he might have heard some rumors, but then he had trusted his wife and he had no chance of, really questioning her on this. So when he saw that baby Abigail, he was very proud of her. Now, it is very unsettling for me to, think that when your wife is pregnant, you know that she's pregnant, right? But when she's not, how could you not know that she's not pregnant? And this entire time she was lying that she was pregnant with some baby, and even a twin maybe, and he had no idea. But then he's cleared out. He's never been suspected after that particular day. So what happens next is on 22nd of October 2007, the jury of 6 men and 6 women, they come to conclusion that Lisa M. Montgomery is in fact guilty. They also rejected the claims of the defense, stating that she was deluded when she murdered Bobby Joe Stinnett. Now, when the trial was going on, initially the defense lawyers, they were trying to portray the case as that it was Lisa's stepbrother who was the one who did the murder, but he had a very strong alibi. He was actually meeting with a parole officer, so obviously that just went away with. Now, one of the things that is quite weird about this thing is that the defense lawyers, they never really spoke outwardly about her torture, her childhood abuse, and they did it only after the conviction. So only after she was convicted was then they started talking about it, which is very weird. And the next set of attorneys, they based the entire case on child abuse, sexual abuse, and everything that she went through. Now, one of the last things that I really want to point out is that a lot of neuropsychologists, a lot of psychiatrists, they come up front and gave out statements saying that she was suffering from psychotic disorder, major depressive disorders, and pseudopsychosis. Now, if you don't know what pseudopsychosis is, it's a condition in which a woman thinks that she is pregnant, and in some cases, they even show physical symptoms of pregnancy like swollen breasts and protruding tummy. So, according to the defense lawyers, the attorneys, they presented the case of her as a mentally ill woman who had pseudopsychosis, who was suffering psychotic, and she was in depression, bipolar disorder, and all of these list of mental illnesses. And in fact, all of the physical abuse that she had suffered during her childhood might have damaged a part of her brain, which resulted in her incapability of controlling her aggression. And they even said that when she murdered Bobby Joe Stinnett, she was in a dissociative state similar to sleepwalking, and she was in a psychotic episode, and that's why she couldn't give out proper statements as to what happened and how she killed Bobby Joe Stinnett. So, like I said previously in the beginning of the video, that she did get executed by lethal injections on 13th of January 2021. And yeah, so the question that comes is, did she deserve the death penalty? Like, in 70 years, and 67 years to be exact, she was the first woman to have the death penalty and to get executed. Now, according to her stepsister, who was also survivor of child abuse, she said that she deserved more, that there are worse out there. But my question is, what is the worst? You killed a human being. In my opinion, you do not have the right to take advantage of your abusive childhood and go around killing people and then giving it out as a reason that since I had this thing in my childhood, so I am in this way and I did this. But then again, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this. I want to know your opinions. What do you feel about this case? Do you think that she was actually a monster or just someone who had a very abusive childhood which led to a lot of mental illness, and the mental illness just took her away in the darkness, and that led to killing of Bobby Joe Stinnett? So that's all for the day. Give out your suggestions for the next video, any case you want me to cover, and your opinions of this case. And also do not forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell icon, like, share and comment. Bye bye.